All right, hello everyone. JT Siskowski for Status Coup. We are here in Minneapolis, Minnesota, tracking day 3 of protests in the wake. Oh, and I should mention, we are reporting with the support of the MeidasTouch network as well. So thank you to both of our audiences for tuning in today as we continue to track here in Minneapolis, in the Twin Cities area, day 3 of continuing protests in the wake of a woman being murdered by the Trump administration at the hands of ICE agents. Renee Nicole Good was shot and killed not too far from where we are standing now. We are in a park here on Minneapolis's south side. There is a crowd of, it's always so difficult for me to give crowd sizes before we've had the chance to really get around and mix in and walk around and get a full sense of scale of the crowd. And more people are still arriving all the time, but it is safe to say that it is hundreds, if not thousands, right now. We are seeing many people here holding signs, indict ICE agent Jonathan Ross. That is the name of the ICE agent who shot and killed Renee Nicole Good. And it's part of this city's ongoing grief, its ongoing rage, and its ongoing calls for justice and the desire to be made whole in the wake of such a terrible tragedy. We're waiting for this protest to get underway. There are some just performances happening right now as they wait for the crowd to really coalesce, and then the demonstration will get underway. We'll start hearing from some of the speakers that they have lined up. We'll be showing you those as they happen. We'll also be interviewing some of the protesters themselves. I want to recount for anyone who wasn't tuned in to our broadcast last night, to our live stream coverage of the protests last night, what happened in downtown Minneapolis. There was a noise demonstration outside of a Hilton location in downtown Minneapolis as part of an ongoing series of protests where this city is attempting to put pressure on some of its corporate stakeholders, in this case hotels, calling on them to no longer host ICE and other federal immigration agents, calling on these hotels not to host those agents so those agents have no place to rest, making it more difficult, if not impossible, for the Trump administration to continue its immigration crackdown and occupation and terror campaign here in this city. We were live for more than 3 hours last night until our batteries finally gave out as this crowd moved from hotel to hotel, continuing their protest and eventually just taking to the streets more generally until police were called in from state agencies and local agencies to try and contain those protests. Eventually, about 30 arrests, we've been told, were made that night. But just another example of the righteous rage that this city is feeling in the wake of one of its own community members being shot and killed. Being shot and killed by the federal government using our collective tax dollars to wage a terror campaign on not just this city and this state of Minnesota, but cities, states across this country as the Trump administration looks to hire thousands of more immigration agents to expand the amount of suffering that it can inflict, the amount of families that it can separate. I want to take a moment to talk about the important work that we do here. We have been on the ground here in the Twin Cities, with aside from a break around Christmas, 4 weeks since early December when Operation Metro Surge, the Department of Homeland Security's operation that it is undertaking here in the Twin Cities area, first ramped up. We've been on the ground near continuously since, documenting everything that led up to the shooting of Renee Nicole Good. We were on the scene very shortly thereafter the shots were fired, and we have brought you all of the fallout and the follow-on coverage as this city grapples with this terror campaign, with 1,000 more agents being sent now to this city. Think about that. Someone was shot and killed. The Trump administration shot and killed someone in the city. And rather than giving that a moment's pause, a time to reconsider if maybe now would be the time to try and de-escalate, lower tensions, reevaluate the strategy here if the current one was leading to the killing of a mother of 3. Rather than doing that, the Trump administration doubled down. It had already committed to a surge in ICE agents. That was underway. It had started a surge of some 2,000 more additional Department of Homeland Security agents on top of that. And now it is doubling down again, sending 1,000 more agents. Myself and cameraman John Farina, who is behind the camera, we were out at the Whipple Federal Building, which is just outside Minneapolis. That is the location from which ICE and the other immigration enforcement agents are coordinating many of their efforts here in the Twin Cities. We were there for a press conference that I'll talk about in just a moment. But while we were there, what we were struck by is just how many federal agents and vehicles were coming and going from that building. For the weeks that we had been here in Minneapolis on the ground, in part watching that federal building to get a sense for what the scale of the federal presence was out here. We were used to seeing vehicles coming and going somewhat frequently, but usually some vehicles would leave, there'd be a few minutes of pause, some more vehicles would arrive, again, many minutes of downtime before you'd see that activity again pick back up. That's the pattern we were used to. Now today, near constant, almost a traffic jam out front of the Whipple Federal Building, as so many agents are now coming and going from that building. There are more agents at the end of the day that are going to be deployed here, more than 5 times the number of sworn officers in the Minneapolis Police Department. Protest is getting underway now. John, I'd like us to try and get our way into the action here, just in case the speakers start. Otherwise, it'll leave us also in a position to maybe interview some folks. But right now, they're just starting with a chant of Renee, Nicole, good.
Renee, good!
Pardon me, folks.
Renee, good! Renee, good! Renee, good! Renee, good!
Pardon me, folks. Pardon me.
Renee, good!
Pardon me. Pardon me, folks.
Say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud. Say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here.
We're going to ask people by the sound. We're going to ask you guys to start shifting if you are not part of the sound or stage managing. We have to make space. People I don't know, you have to move. There's no exceptions for you. Say it loud. Say it clear.
Immigrants are welcome here.
Say it clear.
Immigrants are welcome here.
Say it loud. Say it clear.
Immigrants are welcome here.
Say it loud. Say it clear.
Immigrants are welcome here.
Say it loud. Say it clear.
Immigrants are welcome here.
Say it loud. Say it clear.
Immigrants are welcome here.
Donald Trump can hear you. Say it loud. Say it clear.
Immigrants are welcome here.
Say it loud. Say
No, I can't get over that.
Immigrants are welcome here.
Make a path going this way.
Immigrants are welcome here.
Pardon me.
it clear.
Immigrants are welcome here.
Pardon me.
Once, say it twice. We will not put up with
Pardon.
ICE. And once,
Say it twice. We will not put up with ICE.
say it once, say it twice.
We will not put up with ICE.
Say it once, say it twice.
We will not put up with ICE.
Say it once, say it twice.
We will not put up with ICE.
Say it once, say it twice.
We will not put up with ICE.
Say it once, say it twice.
We will not put up with ICE.
Say it once, say it twice.
Now you're getting a real sense of the size of the crowd out here as we finally have been able to make our way in towards the center of this protest, which is quite a bit of doing because there are so many people packed so close together here. But it is most certainly thousands out here. Despite the cold, there were fake protests.
Movement, protectors movement. Tanse, Gananaskamot, of Sis Nanahiawak, of Sis Rachel Dion Thunder, hello and thank you. Thank you to everybody for being here in the cold, for being here in the streets, for being here as observers, for being here as witnesses to this occupation that is currently happening in Minnesota by this authoritarian regime that is an arm of the United States government. I come here as a Native woman, as a Nihio Cree woman. I'm a vice president for the Indigenous Protector Movement, and I'm also second generation American Indian movement. The American Indian movement was founded here in Minneapolis, Minnesota in 1968. And in the 1970s, enacted AIM Patrol to protect our people from police brutality happening at those times. And today, nothing has changed. Today, we're experiencing the same thing that we have experienced as indigenous people of North America that have been forced upon us by these colonial institutions and governments. And what we are witnessing now, don't let them lie to you. This is a full-blown occupation. These are murderers. These are goons. These are fascists. And they have invaded our city. They have invaded this land. They have desecrated this land. They have spilt blood on this sacred Dakota unceded territory of this land. We have a message as the Native community here. ICE needs to leave immediately. They are not welcome here. They have never been welcome here. We have been fighting their presence here since June of 2025. One of our very own community members, Isabella Lopez, is facing 4 federal charges from these fuckers. This is nothing new to our people. They criminalize us. First they called us savages. Then they called us radicals. And now we're terrorists. They call us violent when they're the violent ones. They're the ones that build pipelines. They're the ones that deploy violent men into our communities. They're the ones that steal our women and take our children. They are the violent ones. Yesterday, I was on patrol as an observer right on Franklin Avenue in the Native American Community Cultural Corridor, following an ICE vehicle. They pulled over and they stopped right across the street from powwow grounds. They got out of their vehicle and they approached my vehicle. They told me that I had to show them my identification, that I had to open my door, that I had to roll my windows down, that they were going to arrest me for following them. They came to my windows and they were going to break my window with the window breaker. The warriors of our community deployed from powwow grounds, mini shields, the Little Earth Protectors, community members and observers, and they mobbed those motherfuckers. And you know what? They were scared. Because the real power is with our people. The real power is here with all of you standing here together. The real power is with our connection to each other and to this earth and to this land that we are from. And that's what they're fucking scared of. That's why they criminalize us. That's why they try to intimidate us. That's why they try to make examples of us. And it's not going to work. All of you are leaders. All of you are defenders of this land, protectors of our people, and patriots for justice. And I know that this power of the people and the power of our ancestors will protect us. Say it with me. Whose streets? Whose streets? Whose land?
As you're taking in the sight of this, as John's doing this 360, giving you the full view of what's happening out here, I want you to just take in and think for a moment about the way that those in power right now in the Trump administration are trying to spin what is happening, trying to act as though they have some sort of popular mandate. And yet, this people-powered movement is taking to the streets here in Minneapolis, where it is centered, but backlash against Renee Nicole Good's murder happening across the country right now. How can the Trump administration claim to have that sort of popular mandate when people are taking to the streets in these numbers?
And that's exactly why we're out here today. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. On behalf of MeidasTouch, our next speaker is going to be my good friend, U2. Please, everybody, give her a warm welcome. What's up, everybody?
Thank you all for being here today. My name is U2. I use she, her, hers pronouns, and I'm a proud member of the Minnesota Immigrant Rights Action Committee. And like all of you, I'm heartbroken by what we saw this week. A community member who was shot and killed for protecting. And since the moment that I learned her name, it hasn't left me. And she hasn't. No matter who they are, no matter what language they speak, hours of the day show up for our communities with a whistle, with their voice, with no rights information, and an unwavering commitment to protect our neighbors. That's what I see. June 3rd at Lake and Blumenton, and protesters were brutalized. When I was hurt, I saw my community members coming to my aid and making sure I was okay. That's what I see. They didn't know who I was. I didn't know who they are, but it didn't matter because we keep each other safe. And I refuse to believe the lies that they're spewing about us. And we refuse to concede to their intimidation tactics and concede our people power. We refuse to accept white supremacy and fascism. And we refuse to believe their lies. Because all they have is lies. All they do is spew lies. Because they know they're losing this fight. On the ground, locally, nationally, they are losing this fight. You don't call for 2,000 agents to come to the state when you're meeting your quota. You don't ask for backup when you're winning the fight. They are losing this. Terrorizing their community are coming to an end. Because we have something that they will never understand and they will never outlast, and that is our movement. That is our people. That is our momentum. And we're not going to accept that. They're not going to outpower us. They're not going to outlast us. And we're going to continue to win. And we have already won. Just last month, we fought and we won a real stronger sanctuary policy in Minneapolis. And the work doesn't end when we pass a policy. The work begins when we pass a policy. Because it's now up to us to hold our elected officials accountable to uphold that sanctuary ordinance. And we continue to fight for stronger city sanctuary policies across the state, and we're going to continue to fight to be a sanctuary state for all immigrants, because no matter where you live in Minnesota, you deserve to be protected. And before I leave today, I'm going to lead us in some chants, and I know we're cold, and I know that you're probably hungry, and that you're thinking about what's happening after this, but I believe in us. And we believe in us, and we believe in this movement, and we believe in our power, because if we didn't, we wouldn't fucking be here. I know we're outside, I know we're at Powderhorn, but just imagine that there's a roof above us, and we're trying to blow off that roof with your chanting. Are you ready? All right, let's fucking go! When I say chinga, you say la miga! Chinga! 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 When I say abolish, you say ice! Abolish! Abolish!
I'm being told by our producer that we're having some connection issues here on the stream. And I want to make a point about that. The reason we are is because the equipment we use to broadcast live uses cell signal. So just like at a sporting event or any other big crowd that you might be at and you suddenly have no cell service, that's what we're experiencing here because there are so many people here right now.
Thank you, everybody!
So the connection issues that we're having is a direct reflection of how many people have come out here to deliver a message to the federal government, to the Trump administration.
As we march, I have a couple security announcements, and we will start marching, okay? So many shields are our indigenous native friends, and they are part of our security team. So we demand you respect them as much as you respect the people in the high-vis vest. Many Shields is with us, and we know there are feds in the crowd, we know there are agitators, and we will not let them distract us. They are crawling like rats for our city, so we are going to give them a welcome by booing them. So we know that you're here, and we are here to protect each other. When we have the high-vis vest, those people are keeping us safe. So you can ask them questions, and we got each other's back, okay? The other announcement I'm going to make is we're starting to move. We are having the sound transferred to a megaphone. We change the sound up, so please stand by. We're still going to chant.
Hey, everybody, thank you for coming. A todos, gracias por venir. Gracias, gracias, gracias. Recuerden que cuando alguien nos dice a nosotros que hablemos el idioma, hey, we speak two languages, motherfuckers. And some of us, we speak different language, 2, 3, 4. So when you say speak the language, so you speak the Cora? No. Sorry. One thing I like to say is many shields is here. You're going to see people like us doing security. Please follow the marshal. The people with this green vest is the people you need to follow. Don't follow nobody else. This activity is called for MeidasTouch. Nobody else. We are in charge of this activity. If something happens outside, we are not in charge. Correct? Everybody clear about that? So now we're going to take the streets. We need the people in front of the truck to move in the sides so we can start marching. And marching to whose street? Whose street?
Now, the march getting underway here, and you hear We watched marshals had to physically from the crowd who was fighting, trying to cause a scene. Administration even more ammunition for its propaganda machine that it has been churning out false, misleading messaging from cities across this country. They've been invading. Hey, Colin. What's up?
The people united will never be defeated.
The march is starting. We're just waiting. Like, it's getting underway. It's just being delayed here as they get going. Hopefully, once the march starts, the crowd will hang out a little bit on the street. Until then, I literally can't even get to John, and he's only 10 feet from me because of how thick the crowd is. Thanks, man.
Victor. We will not put up with ice. We will not put up with ice.
For your safety so that we can keep the safe perimeter. Thank you so much. Stay behind the
Not put up with ice. We will not put up with ice.
When immigrants are under attack, what do we do? When immigrants are under attack, what do we do? When immigrants are under attack, what do we do? When immigrants are under attack, what do we do? When immigrants are under attack, what do we do? When immigrants are under attack, what do we do? When immigrants are under attack, what do we do? When immigrants are under attack, what do we do? When immigrants are under attack, what do we do? When
Only the dansantes are moving to the front of the soundtrack. Only dansantes. If you are not a member of Unión de Danza, you stay put. Unión de Danza adelante. Unión de Danza con fuerza. Que viva la Unión de Danza. If you are not a
All right, I've been told by our producer that our stream is back up now. What I want to say is that we cut out due to just the sheer number of people that we were competing with for a signal out here. John, if you're able to get that camera up, I know you were showing the crowd not too long ago, but as this march now finally gets underway, the crowd is thinned out some as it stretches back there down the block. Thousands of people now, not only in the streets, but spilling off onto the sides of the streets, down side streets as well. Thousands of people out here in Minneapolis taking to the streets to deliver a message to the Trump administration that can be neatly summed up as ICE out. They want ICE out of their cities, out of their communities, to stop terrorizing them, their family, their friends, their communities.
no troops, no wall. No troops, no wall. No troops, no wall. No troops.
This is where I should talk about, while we're dealing with technical difficulties, and we're contending with the elements, we're contending with the technology to be out here, and with our own physical exhaustion. We were out getting tear gas yesterday at the federal building where ICE is basing many of their operations for many hours in the cold, and then we were live again for many hours last night during demonstrations much like this in terms of scale. In fact, there's even more people out here today than there was last night, as this movement is seemingly only gaining steam here in the Twin Cities. Not only is this are we gaining so not only are we covering protest after protest back out here again today, but this morning we were we were outside of the Whipple building, reporting outside the Whipple building, where Congresswoman Ilhan Omar and two other congresswomen asked to be let into that Whipple federal building where ICE is basing many of their operations, to try and see the conditions inside. They did get in for about 25 minutes before, they say, that word came down from higher up the chain in the Trump administration to revoke their access to that building, and they were then kicked out. And we have a story coming soon to Status Quo's YouTube channel about that, so get subscribed if you're not, so you can see that story. And then we were out following and trying to document ICE agents as they were out on operations here in the Twin Cities before coming here to this protest. Out in the cold here, it takes a toll. Any support you could give us would be much appreciated. We're already appreciative of the support we get for being a partner with MeidasTouch and the access to their audience. If you're part of their audience, welcome, and we extend our thanks to the whole team at MeidasTouch. for partnering with us. We thank all of the other independent journalists that we work with out here who help us be in the right places at the right time, give us the support that we need to be on the ground, watching each other's backs out here. Andrew Mercado from Mercado Media, can't say enough. This is his city, and he has graciously welcomed us in basically as host, helping show us the ropes of everything out here. But we still have to do that on-the-ground shoe leather work that we do out here, and any support you can offer us here at Status Coup would be greatly appreciated. You go to statuscoup.com/join for as low as $5 a month or 16 cents a day. You go to sustain us and help keep us here on the ground and editorially independent, because we do not take any corporate advertising money at all in order to bring you these reports. We are beholden only to our audience, and that's why you know that the things that I am telling you, the observations that we are giving you, are free of any corporate influence or any partisan influence. We are here just to show the scale of the resistance, of the movement that is building here in the Twin Cities and being echoed across the country after an ICE agent, Jonathan Ross, shot and killed Renee Good. I'm going to try and find some people for us to interview now that this protest is actually in motion here, so you don't have to just hear my voice, take my word for it. We will hear from the people in this crowd about why they want to be here, what the messages that they want to deliver. Yeah. All right. John. What's your name?
Lizzie.
Lizzie.
Yes.
Lizzie. All right. I am standing here with Lizzie. Lizzie, my name's JT.
Hi, JT.
First question's always the easiest. Can I just have you spell your name for me?
Lizzie.
Lovely. Thank you, Lizzie. Lizzie, why did you want to be out here at this demonstration? I mean, clearly, this movement is resonating with people right now. You are one of thousands upon thousands here who are filling the streets of Minneapolis. But what were your personal reasons for wanting to stand here today?
Yeah, I'm here to support my fellow Minnesotans, my fellow Americans. We all deserve to be here. No one's illegal. And I want to support my fellow people, so I want to be here to support them.
You a Minneapolis resident, Twin Cities area?
Minneapolis resident.
Minneapolis. So when you first heard that Renee Nicole Good had been shot and killed by an ICE agent, what were your initial reactions when you saw the video or when you first heard the news?
It's shocking and disheartening, but this isn't the only thing that's happened. There's many things before Renee's murder that have been happening. And so I'm here to speak out against that and speak against everything that's been happening.
Yeah, Lizzie making a very good point there, making the point that what is happening here in the Twin Cities did not start with Renee Nicole Good's murder. We've been on the ground here in the Twin Cities going back to early December when Operation Metro Surge first got underway. We brought you the story of construction workers being frozen, nearly frozen to death by ICE agents in sub-zero temperatures in Chanhassen, Minnesota, during what amounted to be a siege there as they attempted to try and freeze out these people that they wanted to be able to abduct. We brought you the story of a pregnant woman here on the south side who was dragged on the ground by ICE agents, and they paid no heed when the crowd was trying to tell them she's pregnant, she's pregnant. The pressure campaign that has been happening here in Minnesota on the ground has been slowly ramping up, and the people here on the streets were telling us before Renee Nicole Good's murder that they were nervous about what all of this was going to lead to, and it did eventually lead to murder. Lizzie, I apologize for giving all of that discourse and that background, but you made a very good point there. So the message that you came to deliver is what? What do you want the Trump administration to take away from your presence here today?
ICE needs to get the fuck out of Minneapolis and out of our cities. We want our cities back.
You say we. Do you have like friends, family support network that you're here with, or did you just come out of your own volition?
Friends, family, and everyone out here with me.
Everyone out here with you. If you could talk to an ICE agent and deliver a message to them, what would you want to say if you could have that face-to-face conversation?
Just that what they're doing isn't right. They're treating human beings incorrectly. They're being inhumane. They're murdering people. They're tearing families apart. And just imagine what it'd be like if your family got torn apart like that.
Yeah. Pretty profound thing. Like, imagine if you're even capable of empathy, put yourself in those shoes as to what it's like to lose a friend, a family, a neighbor. Lizzie, the Trump administration has only responded by putting more agents here in Minneapolis, sending 1,000 more on top of the 2,000 on top of Operation Metro Surge. It seems nearly endless. What do you take away from that? Like, what is the message that you think that the Trump administration is sending to the people of Minneapolis and Minnesota?
They want us to be afraid and stop talking, but we're all here and standing against it, and we'll keep talking against it no matter what else he does. So
yeah, I'll note that only more people have gotten into the street as a result of these continued operations and the ramp up in what is happening here. Lizzie, thank you very much for the time. Is there anything else you would want to add while you had the platform?
that's everything. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lizzie. I appreciate the time.
Have a good one.
Yep. We're getting off here onto the sidewalk a little bit. One, to give you a little bit of a wider perspective on this march. It is so large and drawn out here, you can't even hear the folks who are all the way up at the beginning anymore trying to lead the chants. And this crowd stretches back to where I don't even know exactly where. Pardon me, folks. Do you live here? He does. You do? Would you mind if I interviewed you? I'm a reporter. No? Yeah, I can't wait. What do you do?
In a minute, I'll catch up with you and I'll get you to a speaker.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll get you guys to a speaker.
Thank you very much. That was excellent.
Yeah. So you see this crowd, I mean, it's so drawn out, the thousands who are out in the streets right here. We also got off onto the sidewalk a little bit to try and find some more folks to talk to. It also gives us the opportunity to get up ahead of the crowd on occasion a little bit. So we're not just standing in the same place, giving you the same perspective during the entire march, which, by the way, we have no real way of knowing exactly how long this is going to be. It's not something that the organizers disclosed ahead of time. The thing that I keep coming back to here is the crowd size, because it is so massive. It's always one of those things where I'm never sure exactly if the camera can ever really capture this pure size of this movement that is taking to the streets, here in Minneapolis. It is block after block after block of demonstrators. Many thousands of people, and it's almost a little bit that it's taking the breath away a little bit as to exactly the way the Twin Cities are responding after the Trump administration has exerted so much force. We've been tear gassed, flashbanged, shot at with pepper balls, been there as tear gas, as protesters were pepper sprayed, etc. But then, of course, on top of that, you have out-and-out killing, shooting and killing Renee Nicole Good. All of that force being exerted by the federal government that is pouring billions and billions of dollars into this immigration agenda. And yet, despite all of that, the Twin Cities are not feeling cowed. They are only demonstrating more. They are only taking to the streets in greater numbers. Pardon me, I'm a reporter. I'm out interviewing people about why they wanted to be out here today. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions?
Yeah,
Good
I
doing,
get
man.
nervous. I'm camera shy.
I'll help you through it.
For her, it would be more.
All right. Good being you guys. But thank you. I apologize. Yeah. trying to get interviews. We can try it.
Clear the street!
Protesters now moving themselves off to one side or the other of the street to allow an ambulance to get past. I want to note that it's always a common talking point for anyone who wants to be dismissive of a movement, wants to belittle it in any way, to be like, oh, when they take to the streets like that, well, what about the emergency services that can't get through? Well, there you just saw an emergency service get through. So don't ever let yourself fall victim to that messaging again. Pardon me, I'm a reporter. I'm out interviewing people about why they wanted to be out here today. Would you mind if I ask you a few questions? Waving somebody for
Oh, yeah.
We can do it. We can do multiple together. There's no limit on the number of people I can put a microphone in front of.
I don't know what to say.
I'll help you through it. What's your name?
Megan.
Megan?
Yeah.
All right, Megan, I'm JT. This is my cameraman, John. So, Megan, just to get you started talking, the first question's always the easiest. Can I have you spell your name for me, please?
Megan.
All right, Megan, why did you want to be out here today?
Because what's happening right now is wrong. And there's no... I mean, what other choice is there? I can't sit at home. It just felt like something that I could do.
When you say you can't stay at home, explain that a little bit, because I think that there are probably still, I mean, it's hard to believe when there are this many people out, but there are still people at home. What was it inside of you that made you feel like you could not stay home?
I suppose I should correct myself and say that there are people who are forced to stay at home right now. I am in a position with who I am right now, where I am in life, that I can be here. I'm able-bodied, I'm white, I can show up, I can put myself out there on the record of saying, hey, what's happening right now is wrong. And that's why I'm here.
Are you a Minneapolis resident, Twin Cities area?
Twin Cities area.
Twin Cities area. So when you see this place that is your home, when you see this place that is your home being directly targeted like this, I mean, the Trump administration is targeting more and more cities. This is becoming a more and more commonplace thing, what is happening here. But for folks who aren't here right now, describe what it's like to live in the Twin Cities area with thousands of federal agents being deployed to victimize your friends, families, neighbors.
I mean, I have nothing other than describe it other than say it's horrible. It's terrifying. It's scary. It should never happen. It feels like we're not in the United States.
Feels like we're not in the United States of America. That's a common sentiment that I have heard echoed not only here, but in the other cities that we have reported on, that this doesn't seem like it should be possible in a country that bases itself supposedly on democratic norms and institutions, an idea of self-determinative government, of freedom. How many times do you hear people on the right beat their chests and talk about freedom? And yet, this community is forced to live under the oppression of thousands of agents being here on the streets. Megan, when you say it doesn't feel like this country anymore, it doesn't feel like the United States, do you see any way of reclaiming that idea of what the United States could be?
I think doing exactly what we're doing. I mean, you've got to let the world know, let the country know that there are people that don't agree with what's going on, and we're trying to do what we can to change things.
How does it feel to be surrounded by thousands upon thousands of your neighbors who are all feeling the same way?
It's the best I've felt all week after a pretty hopeless, devastating week. This is the most energized I've felt.
Most energized you felt after a devastating week. What was, I apologize to take you back here, but what was your initial reaction, thoughts when you saw Renee Nicole Good's killing?
Shock and horror. I don't know. I keep saying the same things, but that's really what it is.
I mean, I don't think, I think you're almost looking to me apologetically, and I don't think there's anything to feel bad about it. I mean, if those are the words, I mean, if that's all that is in you, I think that's understandable. I think anybody watching this would be able to understand. I think that's very human. In the days that have happened since, we've seen the Trump administration only double down, wanting to send more agents, inflict more pain on the Twin Cities. What's the message that you feel like the Trump administration is sending by doing that?
I mean, they're trying to spread fear. And they're trying to get people to not do what we're doing right now so they can get away with all of the horrible things that they're doing. And people are standing up and saying no.
Megan, thank you very much for your time. Before I let you go, is there anything else you would want to add while you had the platform?
I don't know. I'm not one to talk usually.
Well, you've done great with us, so thank you very much, Megan. I appreciate the time, and I'll let you get back to the march and your friends who you were looking to for support back there. Thank you. Oh. I'm out here interviewing people. Would you mind if I asked why you wanted to be out here today and the message you're hoping to deliver?
Yeah, sorry, let me take my hood off so I can hear you.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'd love to be interviewed.
Of course. All right, I'm walking here. I shouldn't say I'm standing here. I'm walking here with Madeline, or marching here with Madeline. Madeline, can I have you start? Just spell your name for me, please.
My name?
Yes, spell it.
Madeline.
Thank you very much. What made you want to come out today? We've now seen, it's been 3 days since the murder of Renee Nicole Good. What I've been struck by is how it feels like each consecutive demonstration that we come to cover has only grown. So why did you want to be out here today?
Yeah, I've been protesting since Thursday, and I think you're right. Every time the crowd is a lot bigger. I think it's important for us to stand up for those who can't safely leave their homes. I think it's important for us to stand up against any signs of fascism. I think it's important for us to stand up for justice and protect the lives of people who are in this country, to support their families, to be a part of our communities and support this beautiful state. And we're just out here to say, fuck Trump, abolish ICE, arrest Jonathan Ross, impeach Kristi Noem, and bring justice to anyone who's ever been wronged by the patriarchy and fascist communities.
You're setting up a very clear criteria there for what sounds like could be justice for Minneapolis and maybe many other communities across this country right now. But in order to get that justice, you're going to need leadership willing to go get it. Are you seeing the needed leadership from the opposition party, from the Democratic Party right now that you want to see in this moment?
I think Tim Walz has done a great job of speaking up. I think it's sad to see him go. He's not running for a third term, but I think it's leaving space for people with more progressive ideas to take the next step that's necessary. I think Jacob Fry has stepped up more that we've needed him to. I know a lot of people have been disappointed with him in the past with not taking a strong stance on these important issues. But saying fuck ICE outright is such an important thing for other leaders to look up to as well, at the local level, at the state level. It spreads the word across the country that this is not something that we are going to put up with.
I notice you're calling out very specific leaders of who you see as being representing a good model of what leadership should look like in this moment right now. And I want to just say that your sentiment is one that we've heard echoed in city after city across this country when we ask that question, where people will say, well, some leaders, here are the ones who I think are good, and it's usually a small handful of like 3 or 4 that they see as good examples, and then kind of throwing the rest into a basket of not doing enough. Am I putting words in your mouth there? I mean, are you disappointed in the leadership more broadly and trying to hone in on where you see the bright spots?
I think for politicians, it can be hard for them to take really strong stances on issues like this, where there is such an opposition between the people and the police and federal investigations with ICE and things like that. They want the votes. They want to get voted in again. And we need people who are brave enough and strong enough to take a stand, and we need leaders who will not be steamrolled by the opposition, by the fascists, by Republicans who are spreading lies and misinformation. And I think that it's just a good starting point, and I think we have a lot of work to do, but I think we're on the right track.
Let's talk about the leadership that's being exhibited here in this movement here, these thousands of people. How does it make you feel to be surrounded by so many of your friends, neighbors, community members here in this crowd right now, all saying largely the same thing that you are here to say?
I think it brings a really strong sense of community, and I just want to say that there's no such thing as a perfect protester. There's no such thing as a perfect way to go about taking a stand and helping our community. Nobody can do everything, but everybody can do something. And there are really small ways. If you don't have the time, you can donate money. If you don't have the money, you can donate your time. You can be in the streets. You can help deliver food. You can spread the word on Instagram. There's really accessible ways now to get involved, and I think it's really important that everyone tries to do their best.
Local authorities act as vehicle and other evidence in this case for there to be a local investigation, or to allow local officials to be party to the federal investigation that the FBI is leading. Basically meaning that the federal government was going to investigate itself to find out if it was justified in killing someone. Now, but yesterday, the state attorney general, Keith Ellison, along with the local district attorney, came out and announced that they were going to go ahead with an investigation anyway. What are your hopes for a truly independent investigation? What would you like to see the outcome be?
I'm hoping that we can set precedent for what this looks like with so much video camera footage of different angles of these incidents. And when Kristi Noem and J.D. Vance are spreading misinformation and lying to the public who's not here, who doesn't live in Minneapolis, who's so disconnected from this issue, that misinformation is so dangerous for movements like this and for justice to be served. So I hope from this investigation that Jonathan Ross is put in jail, and it shows that other ICE agents are not allowed to trample us. They are not allowed to use excessive force. They cannot use violence without any consequence.
Is there anything about your personal experience here with protesting, with ICE, that you think would be important to call out, or any perspective that you have that you would want to add while you had the platform?
I personally have not had any run-ins with ICE, luckily. I was out driving around looking for them I have my whistle on me, I have my car horn, I can help protect people that way. And I think, just going back to what I said earlier, that everyone can do something. And there's always something for you to do to support your community, to talk to your family members, talk to your friends, talk to your neighbors, create safe spaces, have those uncomfortable conversations, because that's where real change starts.
We've seen a pattern of violence play out across the country. Before Renee Nicole Good was murdered here in Minneapolis, there were two shootings recently in Chicago by left a man dead, another one that left a woman 5 times. She survived, and then the day after Renee Nicole Good's killing, 2 more people were shot in Portland. When you see that pattern of violence playing out across the country, it's very easy for people to go
It's not going to follow their oath and protect people and not use excessive force and violence, but it is going to show that this is affecting every community. And if you're not worried because it's not close to you, it will be. And so the sooner you can stand up, the sooner that we can get this thing turned around.
If it's not close to you yet, it will be. I'll underscore that by pointing out that the Trump administration is hiring thousands of more ICE agents, giving them inadequate training, putting them on the streets. In many cases, people, we've seen them up close because John and I have been there documenting many of these ICE raids as they're happening. We see the kinds of people that the Trump administration is hiring for these roles, and these are people who are escalatory. That is what they do. They escalate these situations. It's been one of the main takeaways that I have had from our interactions with federal immigration agents. So if it's not affecting your community yet or the city near you, it very soon will be. Madeline, thank you so much for your time. Is there anything else you would want to add while you have the chance?
I think I covered everything. Just be safe, dress warm, be loud, and stand up for what's right.
Madeline, thank you very much. I appreciate the time. Reading some of the signs we have here is for all that are afraid. See, no ICE. Masked ICE thugs are the terrorists. Get the fuck out of Minneapolis. Impeach Kristi Noem. These are the messages that are being delivered to the Trump administration in this massive march, a march that is so large. It stretches back further than I can see from my perspective. I don't know. John's able to get that camera up so high on our tripod that you probably have a better sense of it than me, but this is by far the largest demonstration that I have covered here in the Twin Cities in our time being here on the ground.
Oh, we just passed 600,000 subs.
I want to call out, we just got a celebratory call from our boss. We just passed 600,000 subs here, subscribers here on our Status Quo YouTube channel. I want to thank everyone who has joined to follow along all of our important storytelling, the journalism that we are doing here at Status Quo. Thank milestone, but I guess the opportunity to say that there are probably many of you who are subscribed right now. I'll note that this is Renee Nicole Good was channel. You can also follow on Instagram, on TikTok. Those are places where we're also putting out stories as well. And I want to thank the support. I think we can attribute a large degree to that growth that we have seen recently to our partnership with the MeidasTouch network. They have lifted up a lot of our reporting. We are immensely grateful to them, help support our on-the-ground journalism. And if you want to help support our on-the-ground journalism, go to statusquo.com/join for as low as $5 a month or 16 cents a day. You go to make sure that John and I have a place to sleep. You go to make sure that John and I have food at the end of these very long, cold, tiring days that we are out here lifting up the voices of the people in these crowds of these places that are being directly victimized by a federal government that has functionally limitless resources, billions upon $1 billion, thousands upon thousands of agents. No how many canisters of pepper, how many bullets they have at their disposal to deploy here against the Twin Cities and I'll note that John and I are near the front of this demonstration, and yet we are still so far from the front that it becomes difficult to actually hear the people who are speaking and leading chants at the front. And yet the march still stretches back blocks and blocks. I don't know exactly how far. Just to give you that sense of scale, the thousands upon thousands of people. I don't think it would be an exaggeration to call it tens of thousands at this point who are out in the streets here in the Twin Cities. What's your name?
Josh.
Josh. All right, I am here with Josh. Josh, just to get you started, can you spell your name for me?
Sure, Josh.
Lovely, thank you. Why did you want to be out here, one of these many thousands of Minnesotans who are out here seemingly with one voice saying, get ICE out of our communities? Why was that important to you?
This is where I grew up. I was playing concerts and spending time with friends around here, growing up in my 20s. All my life I've grown up here, and I felt safe here. I've always felt safe here, and that I have to look around my shoulder every minute now. It's crazy, so to be out here with my community is amazing, and I want to show my support for everyone.
You referenced in there that you had felt safe. The Trump administration has tried to claim that the actions that it is doing in cities across this country, immigration enforcement actions in cities across the country right now, is all about safety. But I assume what you're saying is that you feel less safe now with these agents here in your community. How does having these agents in your community make you feel?
It's terrifying just to know that anyone could be assassinated on the street at this point in the juncture. I'm locking my doors more than I ever have at this point.
Anyone could be assassinated at any time. Not something that you hear, when you're growing up in school, learning about the ideals of America and your history or your civics class, but yet something that is very real here in the Twin Cities, so much so that you're locking your doors more, you feel less safe. Does this feel like the United States of America to you?
No, and even when we were occupied here, during the early 2020s, when we had the National Guard parked out in front of Target, we lived through this before, and it's just like, what? Yeah, it's just.
Can you talk about that legacy? You're making reference to George Floyd's murder and then the subsequent protests. I think that's hanging very heavy. And is very present in this moment in the city. I think you can see some of those same echoes. Of course, not the exact same, but you see some parallels there. How is it weighing on the city's conscience? What is that legacy like? For people who aren't from the Twin Cities area, can you describe how this city has been grappling with that legacy in the years since?
It's been such a strange pressure and just the increase of security that just having to, like I said, have to watch over our shoulders more so often than not as of late. Just the increase of having to not have security with the police that we had in the past. It's now I'm not sure to watch the cops or who to watch for anymore. And since then.
What are your feelings about leadership in this moment? We have an opposition party in this country. The Democrats, they hold no real power right now, but are supposed to be the oppositional force to what is happening. Do you feel like they are doing an adequate job? Are they meeting this moment?
It's nice that they're trying to use words, but words can do so much. We need action like this. We need literal action done. Words can do so much. So Democrats they're holding back. I feel like they'd actually do some progress if they put their foot forward. That'd be great.
We've had every day it feels like when we're covering these demonstrations, they only grow. They're only getting larger. This is by far the largest one that we've covered so far. Do you see this momentum being able to go the distance against a federal government that has billions of dollars at its disposal? Do you think that you have the energy to continue to be in the streets for as long as it takes to affect real change?
I would like to. I'm an overnight worker, so I got a couple hours of sleep back out here just because I care. I'm going to go back to work tonight, and if we got to do it again tomorrow, we'll just keep doing it.
Talk a little bit about work and the economy right now. To what the economy is by many measures faltering right now. Can you maybe talk a little bit about some of the issues that you yourself or your family or friends that you know are facing? Really what I'm asking for is how could, if the Trump administration wanted to, rather than spend billions of dollars on federal immigration agents to come in here and kill people, how could it instead spend that money that would actually improve either your life or the lives of people you know?
Sure, they're offering tens of thousands of dollars. A student could use 40 grand for a degree to go towards a degree. A family could use that towards a house, where houses are being, bought up from outside markets around here, where we have far too many 5-story buildings from outside investors. That money could go towards the community here, go towards building security again, towards the schools that have been shut down here over the years. Yes, it could be far better used in the communities here and beyond. The United States needs that money. The people need that money. Not for killing people.
Not for killing people. Tax dollars, these people's tax dollars being used to fund the weapons that are being turned on them in their communities here in Minneapolis right now. I've asked quite a lot of you, especially if you're only on a couple hours of sleep having worked overnight, but despite all of that, you're still out here. Do you have plans to do further demonstrations or other actions as part of this movement beyond just this march here today?
I might try tomorrow if I have the energy. Beyond that, I'm just going to see what around the community can be helped. Between the West Bank, between the Lake Street here, I'm sure many of the haciendas here have been closed down just out of fear. So I'm going to see what I can do for everybody.
Josh, thank you so much. Is there anything else you would want to add while you had the platform?
Thank you, media, for being out here and for covering and being on the ground and seeing what's actually going on. And for everybody out there, just stay safe and best of luck, everybody.
Thank you very much, Josh. I'll let you get back to it. I want to just echo what Josh said. They're a very kind thing to say, thanking us for the on-the-ground reporting. And I think that in this moment, on-the-ground reporting should be so valued and not the kind of journalism that's just parachute into a community, tell one story, and leave. We've been on the ground here in the Twin Cities for weeks and weeks. We were here before Renee Good was shot and killed. We'll be here for weeks and weeks after because we value staying with a story, telling it adequately, telling it fully, bringing you as many perspectives as possible, lifting up the voices of as many people as possible, and not treating things with false equivalency. False equivalency. I want to explain a little bit about what that is. That is both sidesing an issue. There are some 50-50 issues, don't get me wrong, where there are legitimate debates to be had. But then there are many, many more where it is a simple right and wrong, or it is a simple people versus person, where there is one maybe powerful person, usually a moneyed interest, or someone who might be sitting in the White House who wants to take a given position, and the media will present that as being half of the issue. Here is one side, and then minimizes the other thousands of voices, like we are hearing right now around us. The many thousands of voices are minimized into the other 50% of that issue, where any reasonable person could look out at this crowd right now, look out at these thousands of people who are gathered here at the intersection of 31st and Portland Avenue on Minneapolis' south side, occupying these streets, yelling "fuck ICE," and try to minimize it, put it in a box, try to act like this is just one perspective. No, this is the perspective of thousands of people. This is how people actually feel. And yet, on too many news broadcasts tonight, this march will be given just a few seconds, maybe a minute and a half, if this march is lucky and there's like a reporter out here, a local TV reporter covering it. There'll be a minute and a half, a 90-second TV package, it's called. I know, I used to work in local TV news. But that's the extent. Even if that reporter wants to try and give it more time, no, powers that be say, no, we don't have enough time. We need to fit in some more ads for soap, so you can only have 90 seconds. And we need to keep it moving because we need to make sure that we just give the weather report and the sports scores too, regardless of what is happening in the community. That same pattern is followed because serving those corporate interests is more important. And it's uncomfortable for the powers that be to reckon with a true movement that is calling for real change, because we have entrenched interests in this country that just want the status quo to remain in place right now. And they don't want to hear real change, because change might mean a loss of their power. John, if you'd be so kind as to just show the crowd here as I look for some more perspectives to bring in here. But while I do, one more reminder, best thing that you can do to support us here at Status Coup is, one, become a member, statuscoup.com/join, but then also liking, sharing this stream, or getting subscribed to us on YouTube so that you can be notified every time that we go live. And every time I do that, I should also be thanking the folks at MeidasTouch, our partners in the journalism that we're doing here on the ground. They've been doing an incredible job of helping build our platform, helping lift up our reporting in this moment. So we want to say thank you to them. I also want to say thank you to the other independent media that we've been working with here on the ground. There's a whole cadre of independent reporters who we rely on to keep ourselves safe and to share information so that we can be in the right place to, capture the story as it's happening. And most notably out here, I should be giving some kudos to Andrew Mercado of Mercado Media, who has really played host to us. He's from the Twin Cities area, and he has been giving us rides, and not only that, but really showing us the ropes of the Twin Cities, helped really orient us when we first got here, and he's been an incredible resource as well. So look up Mercado Media if you get the chance. He's doing some incredible on-the-ground reporting in his own community right now, and has also been at some of these same places that we have been on the ground for months and months, where we've been on the ground months and months in some of these cities. I'm a reporter. I'm interviewing folks that are at the march today and the messages. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions?
Sure.
What's your name?
I'm not going to say my name.
What can I call you?
Call me Reese.
Reese? All right, works. Reese, my name's JT. This is my cameraman, John. All right. I am marching here with Reese. Reese, if I could just have you start, just to kind of get you talking a little bit, spell your name for me, please.
That's okay.
No, you don't want to spell Reese?
Leave it anonymous. Spell however you'd like.
Spell however we like. All right, I like that. Gives us a lot of leeway. We can't screw it up. I like that. So, Reese, why did you want to be out here in the streets today?
ICE is terrorizing our community, abducting our neighbors, murdering civilians in cold blood. That's not okay.
Such a simple, direct message, but one that you would think should not need to be said in any sort of modern world where we would hopefully have moved past senseless violence for the sake of senseless violence. Reese, when you first saw or heard that Renee Nicole Good had been shot, killed, murdered by ICE agent Jonathan Ross, what went through your mind? I've heard the gamut from talking to folks out here, from folks who said, shocked, devastated, and then on the complete opposite end of, I knew something like this was coming. Where on that spectrum did you fall?
I wasn't surprised, but I was heartbroken and angry. Just pissed. It's the same thing that they've been doing, leveraging this violence against communities of color, right? And so that they would expand their violence and now kill a civilian is sadly unsurprising, but entirely unacceptable.
For the last several days, we've watched as these marches, it seems like, only grow in the number of people that are out here. What are you attributing that snowballing of momentum? I think maybe the base assumption would be that the most intense protest would be in the immediate aftermath of the shooting, and then it would peter out. But instead, we're only seeing it swell so far through these first 3 days after the shooting. What do you attribute that to?
Well, ICE hasn't slowed down activity. The ICE agents have not left Minnesota. So until they fucking leave, we're not done. Right? There's only going to be more of us demanding that they leave and get out of our city and leave our citizens alone.
We've seen 1,000 more ICE agents are going to now be sent to the Twin Cities. Trump administration just doubling down on what it was doing before, sending 2,000 immigration agents here to the Twin Cities over the course of the next month. Now they're going to add another 1,000 on top of that, to the point where they're going to have a force here that is 5 times the size of the Minneapolis Police Department. What is the message that the Trump administration is, you feel, trying to send to Minneapolis right now?
They want to intimidate Minneapolis. They want to maintain their monopoly on violence and continue to extract violence against our communities. And they're just doubling down, and so will we. We're not standing for that. Fuck that.
Doubling down, and so are we. Meaning that these demonstrations, and as Reese explicitly said just a few moments ago, that this thousands and thousands of people that are out in the streets, and I don't think it's an exaggeration to say tens of thousands of people who are out in the streets here in Minneapolis right now, are a direct result and response to the Trump administration's ramping up its crackdown. As the Trump administration puts more pressure on this city will push back with more force. I want to talk about pushing back. I've been asking a lot of demonstrators out here today about the leadership or lack thereof that they feel is being exhibited by the Democratic Party that is supposed to be the oppositional party in this country, at least nationally. How do you feel about your Democratic leaders in this moment? Are they doing enough?
Absolutely not. I feel disappointed hearing Jacob Frey, say strong words against ICE and then continue to have the MPD cooperate with them and have this entire time been cooperating with ICE operations. That's disappointing. That is not the kind of active resistance that we need from those leaders in this time.
So what would real leadership look like to you?
We need complete non-cooperation from Jacob Frey and from the Democratic Party and from the state of Minnesota. We need an active investigation into the murder of Rachel Good conducted by Minnesota. We need the Minneapolis Police Department to cease all cooperation with ICE and to work with Minnesota residents in removing ICE from our state.
I want to address one of those points that you just made about the need for a local investigation. Not sure if you saw it, but just yesterday, actually, Attorney General Keith Ellison for the state of Minnesota and a local DA announced that they would be mounting an independent investigation, though the federal government has said it will not be giving local authorities access to a lot of the physical evidence they collected, like Renee Good's car, for that investigation. Those difficulties aside, what would you like to see a truly independent investigation achieve? What do you think there is to be gained from having that truly independent look at what happened?
I mean, we all saw what happened. We've seen the video. She was murdered in cold blood. What we need is Jonathan Ross to be arrested and prosecuted for those crimes. And we need ICE to get out of our city and to be abolished and disarmed so that these murders and this violence cannot continue.
So that it cannot continue. It's just about stopping the bleeding, literally, here in Minneapolis. Reese, you've been very generous with your time. I feel like I may have pulled you away from someone you were marching with. I'll let you get back to it here, but before I do, I always like to give you the opportunity, any of my interview subjects the opportunity. Is there anything else you would want to say while you had the platform?
Fuck ICE. Get out of Minnesota.
Succinct. Thank you very much, Reese. I appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Yep. I'm just pointing out that we are at the intersection right now of 33rd and Portland. It was near... Yeah, so we're only a block now from 34th and Portland, which was the scene where Renee Good was shot and killed by ICE agent Jonathan Ross. For a time, this block that we are standing on right now was an autonomous grieving zone that had been set up by members of this community, literally taking back their streets, attempting to occupy this area and say, this is for us, this is not for ICE agents to patrol and access. We are going to hold this block, and they did. And they did for a short time. Built barricades, put up shelters, erected a memorial, and came together at all hours to be together as a community, as part of the healing. And you see now that same community coming together out here. Thousands and thousands of people, all now expressing, rather than their sadness, what we hear a lot more is the rage. Fuck ICE, ICE out. Those are the words that are being chanted over and over again by this crowd. The message that is being sent here is clear. Many people speaking with one voice.
Love the sign. Thank you. Can I interview you? Sure, why not? What's your name? I'm Kevin. Kevin? Yeah.
All right. I am standing here with Kevin. Kevin, can I first... I think we have to address the micro penis in the room. Can I have you explain the sign for us?
It's the kind of energy that ice gives. I mean, it's the guys that were nerds in high school and they're trying to make up for their lack of manhood.
That's what you see with the. I assume when you're saying the lack of manhood and the way they're trying to make up for it, you're talking about in the hyper violent ways that they're conducting themselves with here in the city.
Exactly. Yeah, going above and beyond what their role should even be. I suppose if you could even justify what a normal ice roll would look like. I suppose.
Yeah. What a normal world would look like. Describe to me what this world should look like. I've heard from people in this crowd who say this doesn't feel like the United States of America anymore. What, to your mind, should a real world centered on like the values that our country, at least on paper, says it aspires to, what should that world look like? What's the world you're fighting for here today?
It seems like kind of basic, respecting basic humanity. Understand that anyone who is undocumented, anyone who's an immigrant here, is here for a reason. I kind of like the very simple saying that the only difference between you and an immigrant is luck. And if you're here, you immigrated at some point, unless you're a Native American. You immigrated at some point, and you were lucky to, I guess, be able to make a home here. And you have to understand that immigrants come here for a reason, not just because they like our fast food restaurants.
Yeah, come here for a reason, largely because I will point out that what this country exports around the world, really more than anything else, is its culture and that vision of the American dream, that you can come here and make something of yourself, support a family with a good job, have some economic security, be a member of the richest country in the world. That's what this country puts out there. The other thing that it likes to export is bombs and destabilization campaigns in countries across this world. Right. We just saw it play out again in Venezuela.
I think we might be close to where Renee was shot.
Yes, that's the block that we're on right now.
Yeah, because I noticed a T-Rex on the car.
Yep. A local monument here on the block. Right. Maybe before we reflect a little bit more on some of the policy stuff here, since we are in the place where Renee Good was shot and killed, let's talk about feelings here. How does it make you feel to be in this spot where you know that the center of this hurt that is animating so much of this crowd right now?
Oh, it's really heavy. Oh man, it's really heavy. It's really, really sad, and it's all the emotions, because it's also just a lot of anger, the immense gaslighting that's happening. So yeah, it's just really, really sad seeing that she was somebody that could have been literally any one of us, just trying to stand up for what she felt was right.
How does it make you feel to be surrounded by? I feel very strongly is probably, from the best I can tell, tens of thousands of fellow Twin City residents, Minnesotans, who are out here to express, a lot of the same messages that you're expressing to me in this interview right now. How does it make you feel to be surrounded by this kind of community?
I mean, it's one of the small ways that we can get a little bit of hope right now, because there's this, if you follow the news, if you're a somewhat literate person right now, it's a tough time to be alive, just because of all the gaslighting and the false narrative that unfortunately a large part of America is believing right now. So it definitely feels really good to be around a lot of like-minded people, and that does bring a little bit of hope, even though it does feel like the amount of progress that's happened has not been what any of us would want.
We just dealt with some, heavy emotions there. Want to lighten things a little again, the way you have here with the sign. You're
Yeah.
You're using, humor here. You could have, there's some of these signs express rage, express sadness. You decided to try and bring a little bit of humor. Why was that important? Why was that the way you wanted to go about, delivering your protest message?
Maybe not totally consciously, but at least subconsciously, I think part of it is trying to find common ground. I mean, even if you're somebody that is for ICE, I mean, come on, it's pretty funny, right? I mean, so trying to find some kind of common ground that can at least start a conversation. Or if I just had fuck ICE, they're probably not going to want to talk to me. But I don't know. A joke is a joke, and I don't know. I mean, it's not a joke, but humor is humor, I guess. It can cross boundaries.
Crossing boundaries, and you're saying even someone who is supportive of ICE has to admit that it's funny. How much of this do you expect to be able to reach the people who are supportive of what this administration is doing in terms of its? Oh, and I should actually probably draw this interview to a close because we are at the site of the of the memorial here. Okay. Thank you very much for your time, Kevin. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah.
Status quo. I love you guys. I'm a paid supporter.
Yeah. I'm going to show you here the scene of the. This is where Renee Good's. Yeah, this is where Renee Good's car crashed after she was shot by Jonathan Ross just down the block, down the way that we had been walking. Her car accelerated and then crashed here at this site. And people coming here and set up a memorial, and you see this crowd, which had been so loud and so animated during its march, stopping for a moment to pay respects, to honor a fallen community member, someone who had been a mother of 3, one of her children whose father had already died due to disease previously, will now be left an orphan. And this community coming together to pay their respects and mourn together and process that loss and call for and demand change so that it does not happen again. And has done some truly incredible. So I'm very fortunate to have him as a team member, and fortunate to have everybody here at Status Quo on our team who supports us. Fortunate to have our partners at MeidasTouch who have done so much to lift up the reporting that we have been doing here on the ground and support our reporting, support our journalism. So thankful to the MeidasTouch network and that whole team as well. And thankful to you for watching and following along with this stream for the however long we have been out here now live streaming. Looks like coming on nearly 2 hours. And all these people that you're seeing file past us right now. This is that whole crowd that was splayed out behind us as we marched along. Which I think almost does more for me to get a sense of exactly how large this movement is that's building here in the Twin cities, and then multiples across this country that are also seeing solidarity with Minneapolis right now and calling for change. Because I don't get the high up angle that John is able to give you with the camera by holding it aloft. I'm still just here on the Was this the kind of pain and suffering that you wanted? Is this the outcome that you wanted? The Trump administration?
Justice for! Justice for!
Trump administration is pumping out propaganda to try and make its agents look heroic as they rip apart families, as they gun down American citizens.
Justice for! Justice for!
And the administration... What?
You were just on MeidasTouch.
Yeah.
Ask yourself if you harbor those pro-ICE feelings now, or at the end of the day, as significant as all that pain and suffering and loss is, ultimately serves as a convenient distraction for the Trump administration from an economy that continues to leave all of these people and you at home largely behind. Continue to suffer economically. When we talk about justice for the victims of Jeffrey Epstein, that this administration has been covering up and is still slow-walking the release of those files. This pain and suffering being enacted on these communities serves as a convenient distraction for that as well. So as we hear, again, still this stream of thousands of people past us here just next to a memorial for a mother of 3 who was shot and killed by an ICE agent. Yeah. I'm going to go and grab an interview here. Pardon me, ma'am.
Yeah.
My name's JT. I'm a reporter. I'm interviewing people.
Who?
Status Quo. We're an online independent progressive outlet. Interviewing people about why they wanted to be out here today and the message they were hoping to deliver.
Because Renee Gold was murdered by the United States government. Yeah. Governor, and there you go. I live in St. Paul. We just elected the first woman mayor of St. Paul, the first Hmong American, a refugee, to be our mayor. So, I've been against ICE and all this crap for, 10, 15 years. Yeah.
For years and years,
For years and years,
you've been
I've
against
been
this,
out.
and then you see this pain being visited on this community that you're so proud of. Some of the progressive leaders that you've been able to put in positions of power. You just called out some of those names. When you first heard and saw that Renee Good had been murdered, what was your reaction?
I'm a mother. Yeah.
Is that where your mind went to first?
I'm also a lesbian mother.
So did you see yourself in her?
Sure. Yeah. She wasn't doing anything wrong. She was leaving. So I don't know which kind of press you're with, but the Trump administration is running a bunch of shit. So I don't mind telling them that if you're with him. So.
Can't say that we are.
Oh, good. Well, that's a relief. Yeah. I mean, the whole immigration court system, the whole deporting people, and it just keeps ramping up, It just keeps ramping up. Today it's one thing. Tomorrow, he's talked about deporting people. There are 40 million people, for instance, that carry dual citizenship in this country. He's talked about how they would have to choose one citizenship over another. I mean, he's acting as a dictator. We're sliding towards dictatorship. It's fascism, clear and simple. It's so obvious.
So obvious that we're on that slide. Do you see any way to avert it at this point? What is the solution? What does the country need?
The whole administration.
As simple as that. Just get rid of the administration.
2025. Yeah. The whole Project 2025 thing. Yeah. So.
When you look at the trajectory that this country has been on here over the last year of this administration, are you at all hopeful that there will be something still to save? It seems like you're pushing for an electoral solution.
Look at all the people. Look at all the people here. Look at the people. Look at the children. Look at all the nationalities we have. All the rich, wonderful country that we have. I'm the grandchild of immigrants. So there you go.
And you remain. Sorry, you made me a little emotional there. You remain hopeful that that'll continue that'll endure no matter what this administration can even try to do. You remain hopeful about what they.
Yep. Just come out in the street and see that people aren't going to say, aren't going to stop. They're not going to stop being in the street.
Do you have this administration has?
They don't have, the people have power. The people have power. People give power to a government. Yeah.
I never got your name at the front of this interview.
It's Mary.
Mary, nice to meet you. I assume common spelling there.
I'm 75. I was born on Martin Luther King Jr.'s 22nd birthday. So, on his real birthday, not the one that the federal government made into a national holiday. Yeah, so there you go.
75 years old. In that time, in your experience, have you ever seen something like this before?
No, this is over the top. I mean, we had the whole Joseph McCarthy era when I was a child, you know, but this is more like Nazi Germany. Yep.
A stark comparison, but also a message of hope. Mary, I thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Thanks for talking to us. We've seen here this protest kind of string out now ever since it got to the point of that memorial for Renee Good. It's stretched out even further, and it looks like going around the corner there and perhaps making its way back to the origin point of the march. Well, we're pausing here to allow even more of these marchers to go past. Again, want to call out that this is not it for our reporting day here at Status Quo. We'll likely, after this march, we'll continue to go and document some of the abuses that the Trump administration is continuing to mete out here in the city.
Thank you. Thank you.
But we'll be tracking what ICE is up to in these communities. We were following already several caravans of those agents as they were moving around some of these neighborhoods here. We're going to make our way back towards the vigil down the street, where there is a large portion of that crowd that has decided to remain there. A lot of the march continued on ahead, but many people continued to remain on this block from 34th to 35th Street along Portland Avenue, the scene of Renee Good's murder. John and I have been out. We were out marching for many hours last night, covering the protests in downtown Minneapolis, and now we're out marching again for several hours again today, on top of all the other coverage, like getting tear gas that we've been doing over the last several days. Starts to wear on you a little bit, but we do it because we believe it's important work. If you want to support us, statusquo.com/join. We'd much appreciate having that support, and beyond just even that light push there, I would say we couldn't do this work without that support.
You guys ought to be recording way down there, man.
What's that?
You guys ought to be recording way down there, man.
Why? What do you mean?
There's tens of thousands of people down the street. I don't know why you're recording where there's people trickling out.
What do you mean? We weren't in the whole march.
Yeah,
Get over there.
Yeah, we're doing it. Having a little bit of a bizarre interaction with one demonstrator, telling us that we should go and go continue to walk in the direction we were already going to show even more of this crowd. Pardon me, folks. I'm a reporter. I'm out here interviewing people about why they wanted to be in the march. And since I'm a new father, too, so that's why you guys stood out to me. But you're the first person that I saw with a stroller out here at the march. Would you mind if I asked you a few questions about why you wanted to be out here and the message you're hoping to deliver? We can keep walking as we talk. Sure. Yeah? Yeah. Which newspaper? Not newspaper. We're Status Quo. We're online independent progressive outlet. Cool. My name's JT. And
Hi,
you
JT,
are?
I'm Tommy.
Tommy?
Jen. So
And-
JT, J.
Oh, JT interviews J and T. I love that. Common spellings on both Tommy and Jen?
Yeah, 2 N's.
2 N's in Jen. Okay, good to know. Wanted to start, you've turned this into a family protest here. Why was it important not only for yourselves to be here, but to bring your little one along as well?
I guess because this situation doesn't just impact us, it impacts our daughter too, and we think it's important that she's able to come and we're able to protest as a family.
Yeah, to instill those values in our daughter young, even though she's only 2.5. To be out here in the cold and her be a part of it is really important to us because she's part of our family and part of our community.
You're talking about how this issue affects her. I assume you're referring to the country that she stands to inherit. How do you feel about the future, the country that she stands to inherit?
That's a tough question to answer, but I guess I get hope because of how many people that have come out today to protest what's going on. At the same time, I feel like the administration is having us careening in a direction that we're not comfortable with.
Yeah. It's scary. We're scared. We're scared for her future, and I think we hoped when we had kids it would look different, and it just hasn't. So I think that's part of the reason we're out here too, is to hopefully feel like we're together with our community and hopefully peacefully protest and get things changed.
What would acceptable change look like? What does justice look like for Minneapolis and for cities across this country that's being victimized by this administration and its deportation agenda?
Yeah. Well, for Renee Good specifically, fair investigation, non-biased. And then I think, was the second part of your question? For immigration in general?
Yeah, broader.
Yeah, I mean, immigrants are part of our community. It's what makes America great, which it doesn't feel like it is right now, but I think they're a part of our community. They make our community vibrant. And I relocated to Minneapolis now 10 years ago because of that reason, because of the welcoming community that we have. And I think just letting people who are contributing to society, let them live their lives. The narrative here is that all immigrants are criminals, and that's maybe a very, very small percent of the population. And just getting back to why this country was built in the first place, which is to create an opportunity for everyone.
Create an opportunity for everyone. Tommy, is there anything you would add to that answer?
I guess the term deportation agenda is probably a leading question, but
you can push back on it.
No, I don't want to push back on it. I think that immigration has always been something that's in the political sphere for the last, forefront of the 4 or 5 presidents, but it's the way that it's happening right now. Lack of collaboration with state officials and freezing out or just having only a federal investigation into Renee Good. I think starting there with a little bit of transparency and accountability and collaboration is going to go a long way. And right now it's just a really, really polarized environment, and that's the problem. So I would push back and say I don't want that. I don't want a deportation agenda, but I also think they have to be realistic and try to deal with the issue of immigration in a very positive way that stops hurting people and separating families. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to ask the two of you to necessarily have all of the answers here in this moment, but maybe if you could just give people a little bit of perspective, at least, for we're a national outlet, so give people who aren't here in the Twin Cities a sense for what it's like to live here right now in this moment.
It's hard because it was different, but we were still grieving 5 years ago with the George Floyd murder, and the community really came together. And I think that's what really we love about Minneapolis. What keeps us in Minneapolis is the wonderful people here. It's cold outside today, and there's more people here than I've seen in a really long time gathered together. So, like Tommy said, it gives me hope.
It's not like a violent environment. This is a peaceful protest, and I feel like the national media spins it in some way that there's like mega riots going on all over the place, and there's thousands of people here, and there's no crime at all. It's people protesting peacefully.
We live in a different part of South Minneapolis, and it's safe here. We feel safe here, and it's a wonderful place to live. And
we feel less safe with ICE being here.
Yeah.
That's the thing that makes it feel less safe, and that's what we would like to change.
Even though the Trump administration has tried to, paint what they're doing with immigration as being, at least in part, about safety, and you're saying no, I feel less safe with the strategy that you're carrying out here, in our communities.
And I would encourage Trump administration to look at the crime statistics for Minneapolis before they make those statements like that, or maybe that's something the national media should take a look at when they're
All right. We got it. Okay. All right, I want to apologize to everybody at home. We've been streaming. We've been covering these marches for the last several days. Hours and hours of covering this movement that is building here in the Twin Cities area, and through all of that, our batteries died because we've been going so long. So we just replaced the batteries in the microphone, so you should be able to hear us now. VNA, I apologize for making you go back over what you just told us, but if you could one more time, read your sign and explain the message behind it.
Yeah, so my sign says, "Stop pretending your racism is patriotism." As I was saying, a lot of these MAGA supporters are using their reasons for all this happening to better America, to, I guess, make America great again. And honestly, it's a slap to the face because America was built on the backs of immigrants. And the fact that we're being treated like this, and everything going on, and it's just so violent, and there's no way to justify everything that's going on, and to say that this is all because of patriotism is ridiculous. So I'm here to support my family, my community, my city, my state, and get ICE out of here and get Trump out of office, hopefully. But yeah, that is my message out there.
Yeah, and I think that makes a lot of sense when you're saying stop pretending your racism is patriotism is such a succinct way of summing up exactly what you came out here to convey. As you look around at these tens of thousands of fellow Minnesotans, people who live, work in the Twin Cities area, do you see them as, being in line with your message? Do you feel like a unified movement is building here?
Yes, I'm very proud of the turnout here. I am so happy with my city, and I'm so glad that we have a lot of supporters here. And it's just really amazing to see us all get together. During these times, we are so divided, and it's amazing to see our community come together, to stand together and believe for what we believe in. So it's amazing. It's great.
What I have been struck by is in coming to demonstration after demonstration, it seems like each one has only grown in the number of people. What do you attribute that to? Why are we seeing such an increase in the number of people who feel that they need to be taking to the streets right now?
I think people are just getting angry. With everything going on, nothing is getting better. Everything's just getting worse. What happened with Renee Good was not justifiable at all. And I think we're all just really angry, and we've had enough. And we should have been said something a long time ago, but it's better late than never. I'm glad that we're all here. I'm glad more and more people are coming out because we're all angry. We're all not okay with this. This is not okay.
You're talking about we all. You see it. You're seeing this very much as a collective movement here. The way that you're phrasing it. Do you feel like your leaders are accurately representing the voices of these people right now? Are you seeing? The Trump administration aside, I think that's pretty apparent that nobody here in this crowd is going to say that they are supportive of the Trump administration right now and what's doing to the city. But aside from that, the leaders that you have, both here locally and at the national level, do you feel like they are doing enough to stand up to the Trump administration right now?
I've seen our mayor wants ICE out of here, which I'm glad that he stands with us, but I'm not too sure. I don't really know how. I feel like there's always more we can do. There's always more that can be done. So there's obviously more work to do, and hopefully we start our leaders start doing something to work towards what we believe in. Hopefully, yeah.
Absolutely. I'm just you're seeing the two. Yeah. The two protests, we had noted for you earlier that the protests had kind of divided into two groups. one of the lead group is actually here now, coming up the side street, meeting the group that we were following. So they're trying to re-merge these protests a little bit. Yep.
Interviewing me.
Yep. VNA, before you go, can you just spell your name one more time for us?
Oh yeah, VIANEY.
Thank you very much, VNA. I'll let you get it going. Let you go.
Take this turn here, and then the road is ending, and the protest will be over. Which is so sad because we've had so much fun with you today, being in community and showing people power. And so once we get to the end of the road, the sand trucks will no longer be able to move forward. But everybody else, for your safety, you can keep going forward once we get there and into Powderhorn Park again. And then do what you gotta do to stay safe. Take care of yourself.
You're hearing the protest organizers. They're trying to call an end to the protest after this march reaches the point from which it started. Likely in large part. And John, I want to try and actually keep up with the front of the protest a little bit.
Fundraiser tonight at the Lucy Parsons Center, watching the Pendleton 2, exposing the realities of over-sentencing and undoing.
But the reason that they are likely trying to call that end to be explicit about calling the end of the protest is to not give any sort of excuse to the Trump administration and any provocateurs, federal agents who might be in the crowd to try and stir up trouble after the organizers relinquish, call an end to the protest.
Que chinga su madre la migra.
What? Why did you want to be out here today?
I wanted to protest for the people that can't.
For the people that can't. Really spell out for people who are the people that can't that you feel like you are standing up and representing here.
The people that ICE is targeting right now.
That what?
The people that ICE is targeting right now.
Is that anybody? You don't have to give any identifying information, but do you know people that are being directly targeted by ICE or are living in fear right now because ICE is out patrolling in their communities?
Everybody.
Everybody.
At this point, everybody.
Explain for people. We're a national outlet. Explain for people what it's like to be living in the Twin Cities right now.
Having fear right now is a major thing in the Twin Cities. Everybody's scared to come out. Fuck ICE. Fuck everybody that supports ICE. Donald Trump. Fuck everybody.
Feeling fear just to be living in their homes right now because of the targeting of the Trump administration. The direct pressure that this administration is putting on this city and the surrounding cities here in the Twin Cities area is leading to tremendous fear as 3,000 agents are being deployed and descending upon Minneapolis and the Twin Cities area right now.
No one is safe. No one is literally safe. If it happened to Renee, it can happen to you. It can happen to anybody. We're here to speak up for everybody, not just Mexicans, all Latinos, all Hispanics, white, African Americans, Somalians. We are all a community here in Minnesota, and we are all here to stand for each other. Doesn't matter what happens, we are here.
How does it make you feel to be surrounded by thousands of people who feel the same way you do?
I'm actually very glad that people share the same compassion and anger that I have for my community. I am very appreciative of everybody that is standing here today, everybody that comes here, even though they know that they're at risk, because nobody is safe. I am beyond grateful for what people come here to do here in this city. Everybody stands by each other, and Minnesota really is a family. So to everybody in Minnesota, I love you. We all love you. Everybody is watching, and we all support each other here.
What's the change that you are fighting for beyond just getting ICE out of Minnesota? Is there anything else that you want to see as a result of this movement here and in echo demonstrations all around the country?
Human decency. That at this point, it's about human rights and human decency because they're not really respecting anything at this point. So I really want that to change. I want people to open their eyes and see that it's not just about targeting low communities, low-income communities, or any like ethnic communities. It's really about targeting everybody here. If it could happen to a white person, if it could happen to me, if it could happen to you, it can happen to anybody. So,
what's your name?
Erica.
Erica, can you spell that for us really quick?
ERICA.
Thank you very much, Erica. Nice to meet you. My name's JT. Yeah, you stay safe as well. We're gonna use this. We're gonna use that. All right, we're gonna switch our sound input right now into the camera, so you're gonna lose sound for just a second, but then it should come right back.
Don't be afraid. We will turn our
I think let's get away from the trucks here a little bit, just so that people can hear me a little bit better since we're working off the shotgun now. Let's try and work it that way. Block out as much of the background sound as this microphone will. Pardon me, I'm a reporter. I'm interviewing people about why So we're working off of our microphone that's attached to the camera now because these microphones have given out on us here for the march, because we've been live streaming not only here for hours but last night for hours and earlier yesterday 4 hours. We sent our camera equipment through some truly horrible conditions yesterday, getting tear gassed and pepper balled, and flashbang grenades were going off, and we put our equipment through a lot. So the amount of abuse that it's been willing to take, we've been very appreciative of. But finally, one piece, our microphone, just gave out until we can get back to home base and fix some of it. But so we're working off of our shotgun microphone, so if I sound different, that's why. But I just want to call out that the trucks that were leading the protest have stopped back there. You might still be able to hear the music that they are playing, still reaching us here, but everybody is now making their way back to Powderhorn Park, which is the park here on the south side of Minneapolis, where this massive demonstration, tens of thousands of Minnesotans came out to demonstrate. This is where it began, and now the crowd is going to come back, make this sort of the end point of this protest. We'll be continuing to monitor it just to see if sometimes after these protests we'll see, you know, groups that will still continue to stay out and demonstrate despite the end to the official protest. So we're just going to keep an eye on that here for a little bit as we watch, and you can see, my goodness. And I feel like, John, if you just want to give like a big swing here, just again, it's just giving the sense of the thousands of people who were out here. We have got people stretching again for blocks down this way, down the street that we were just marching on here along 10th Avenue. And then swinging around here through the park, you see the thousands of people that are dispersing. And this is near the front end. Again, we were standing near the front end of this protest. So you see, we got the thousands upon thousands of people that are out here. I'm going to try and get a couple more interviews as we're monitoring things here. I'm a reporter. I'm out interviewing folks by your flag and your hat. I was wondering if I could interview you about why you wanted to be out today and the message you were hoping to deliver.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. So this microphone isn't working for me right now, so we're using the one off the camera. So if I could have you start, just say and spell your name for me, please.
Yeah, Jesse.
Jesse.
Yeah.
Common spelling on Jesse?
Yep.
Got it. Jesse, I'm JT. It's my cameraman, John.
Yeah.
So first, if you could just tell me why did you want to be one of these thousands and thousands of Minnesotans who came out to demonstrate today?
Yeah. Well, I'm here part of Veterans for Peace and About Face Veterans Against the War. I'm here to support my neighbors, to stand up for humanity, and really, and that means standing against occupation, both foreign and domestic. This assault on our neighbors, this assault on all the lies that occupation and that imperialism and authoritarianism bring. And so stand here in solidarity and walking together as one.
Walking together as one, talking about such basic concepts here. Human decency, that is what people here in Minneapolis, in the Twin Cities area, in Minnesota, and now, I guess, in echo protests across the country, feel like they need to be fighting for right now. When you see the Trump administration put thousands of agents on your streets in the wake of already having killed someone, how does it make you, what do you feel like is the message that the Trump administration is sending to you?
Lies. Just
spell out some of those lies.
I mean, really, this is done in the name of keeping our community safe. This is done in the name of deporting, getting rid of criminals, and all this just vitriol.
Patriotism. It's like, how they say, we're patriots. That's why we're doing this.
Yeah, do you feel like the patriotism that the Trump administration is advancing is the version of patriotism that maybe you felt when you signed it?
I'm a patriot to a people, not to a land, to a constitution, to an idea that we are all one, that this is stolen land, that no one is illegal, that we are all better together, we all bring something good together. And the racism, xenophobia, and lies that seek to drive us apart and take the lives of our neighbors are from the pit of hell. I mean, there's nothing good about that. There's nothing right about that. The groups that I'm a part of, we are standing against the racism and repression in our communities, against the militarization of law enforcement and National Guard coming into our cities. Always in the guise of safety and standing up for us, but not showing us that. That's not what we're seeing, and that's why we're here. We've continued to not see that, not only in recent times, not only since George Floyd was murdered, not only since the 20 years of wars in the Middle East that were predicated on lies, but since the beginning. It started in 1492 on this piece of land and has just escalated since then.
Why is it so important to you to be here as a representative of Veterans for Peace and to wear that part of your identity and your personal history, veteran? Why do you feel like that was important part to showcase here and to make sure that you were representing that here at this protest?
Yeah, I think that's important to me because of all the reasons that I joined. To protect my neighbors, to stand up for my community and my country, which I was told was all about freedom, democracy, really the goodness of all people as one. That's not something that we're seeing. That's not something that I've seen in deployment. That's not something that I see in our communities. It's not something that's being advanced by the lies and the policies and boots on the ground actions that we're seeing that are tearing us apart. So it is about, like you said, humanity. It is about truth, and it is about us standing together to make this place great.
When you're talking about making this place great, that's something that, President Trump, like his whole slogan of "Make America Great Again." But we've identified that as you feeling like that to be a false patriotism.
Exactly.
What is the version of America in your mind that could be great? What does a truly great America look like? How does it provide for its citizens?
I'll say make this place what it says it is. And I'll say that is, there's so much talk about freedom. There's so much talk about democracy. There's so much talk about equal rights. We aren't seeing that. Where's equality here? We're standing here because there's a complete lack of equality, of equity, of care, could go on and on.
Yeah. A complete lacking. Let's talk about problems that you or people are facing in their lives right now. Like if the Trump administration, rather than spending billions of dollars on outfitting and deploying more ICE agents to cities across the country and magnifying the suffering or extending the suffering that's already being merited out here in the Twin Cities to cities across this country, rather than using that money to do that, what are some problems in your life or in lives of people you know and love that federal government could instead use that money on to address?
Yeah. How about building community? How about investing in education and programs that help us all be greater, strengthening the economy rather than taking from it? Right now, this is salt on our city, on our state, on our country, and really on the world. Everyone pays a price for it. We're all a part of this. There's this constant drive to divide us, but we are all paying.
We're all paying. And I want to point out, we talked about we were just addressing, some of the deficiencies that are facing this country right now. We've talked a lot about that. But when we start to talk about combining that with the pain that's being inflicted here on Minneapolis, I'm curious. The Trump administration could be fixing any of those problems. They're not. They're likely seeing a political backlash because of that, not actually addressing people's problems. Pairing that with the pain being inflicted here on the cities, do you see it at all as being a distraction for the Trump administration from some of these other scandals, whether that be not dealing with a faltering economy, not supporting people, or even just like personal scandals like his inclusion in the Epstein files? To what extent do you feel like the suffering being merited out on your community is a distraction?
Sure. I think those are all true. I think there are. The administration is looking for any and every way to continue the destruction that they've started. And that destruction, like I said, it looks like tearing communities apart. It looks like taking lives. It looks like racism and xenophobia. It looks like turning folks against each other and using that money that could be used for investing in communities, investing in making connections and really harnessing the diversity that we have. That is an economic power. That is it's a positive thing. So those lies that have turned us against each other, and it just, none of it adds up.
With deploying thousands of agents here, and the Trump administration saying it's going to send another 1,000 agents, doubled down after the killing of Renee Good, do you feel like, it seems to me that the message the Trump administration is sending is one of, we can outlast you. We have more resources. We can essentially beat these cities into submission. Do you feel like this movement here can be beaten into submission? Do you think it, or do you think it has the power and the fortitude to go the distance and really affect the change that it wants to see.
I believe love will always outstand hate, and that peace will always win over war. Love will win, peace will win, and we're committed. People are committed here, and I believe in that greater good. I believe in the greater good of humanity. I believe in the greater good of people to change and to see something different. And that's what a lot of us, speaking as a veteran, have had to do, is look at what we were told and look at what we have seen and put it all together. And so, to summarize, love will win, peace can overcome, and nobody's giving up. Nobody's stopping here to continue to fight peacefully and strongly with love for our neighbors, for the country, for the world, and for all that makes us great as people, as humanity.
Jesse, thank you so much for your time. Before I let you go, is there just anything else you would want to add while you had the platform?
Appreciate you being out here. Appreciate everybody being out here. This is the biggest act of service. As veterans, people often thank us for our service. I want to thank you. I want to thank everybody who's out here for this service to humanity, to the service to the people.
Jesse,
and love and peace will win.
I like that message. Jesse, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you.
Yeah. Let's get back to it. I appreciate it. All right. Want to emphasize that point that Jesse was making, that love will always overcome hate. You're seeing so much amid the rage and amid the despair of what is happening here in Minneapolis in the fallout of Renee Good's murder. You are also seeing a lot of optimism. Something that John and I were really struck by in our time that we were down reporting on the ground in Chicago. While we were reporting on the ground in Chicago, John and I were really struck by this silver lining, if you could call it that, of looking for a silver lining amid all of the suffering that was happening during the Trump administration's immigration enforcement effort, Operation Midway Blitz. There was the community building that was happening, was the organizing, the solidarity, the neighbors coming together and helping neighbors. And now you are seeing that in spades here in Minneapolis and in the Twin Cities area. You are seeing just thousands of people at these rallies. So many people have come together, and like we said, this seems to be a snowballing effort. This is not just ending right here at this protest. Just like this did not start with the killing of Renee Good. The Trump administration's crackdown here began well before that. The conditions that led up to it began well before that. We documented many of them on the ground here, and we'll continue to follow this as this all continues here. What's it? You want to show a sign? Oh yeah. We've got people showing on the sign. Proudly raised by immigrants, we make America great. Did you do the whole march with that sign? Yeah? All right. Yeah, that is. Thank you, my man. Thanks for showing it off for us. We appreciate that. Thank you.
What network are you in?
Sorry, Status Quo News. We're online independent progressive outlet. You can take a picture of the mic flag if you want, so you can look it up.
Are you from here?
I'm from Wisconsin, but we've been here on the ground reporting for the last month and a half or so.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a long drive.
Yeah. Well, my cameraman's from New York.
He's from New York?
Yeah.
Wow. This is, you're part of history.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, I think you look around, you just see it everywhere.
You want to come on and talk?
What's your name? Tammy?
Yes.
Tammy, nice to meet you. JT. All right, Tammy, we have to, I'm just going to prepare you. Our microphone that we normally use is broken, so we're using the one on the camera, so you got to speak up as much as you can here.
Okay.
But Tammy, if I could just have you start by spelling your name for us.
Yes, it's Tammy, Kahel, pronounced KL.
Tammy, I wanted to first ask you by just reading the sign, why was this the message that you wanted to deliver here at the protest today?
Right now, this is the sign that I had from a previous protest. Renee was a member of the LGBT community, as am I. I'm a trans woman myself. And the importance of being out here in general it outweighed my fear of coming out here, despite all of the stuff with them sending more of these agents here. It breaks my heart to know the arc of history, to know how we fought through World War I, World War II, the Vietnam War, and all of the people who sacrificed for our constitutional rights. To now watch them being trampled upon, watching ICE agents killing our people, abducting people without giving due process, a fundamental right in our Constitution. I cannot sit back and watch that without speaking out.
Cannot sit back and watch it happen without speaking out. I think that is a sentiment that is going to be echoed by, if I asked everybody that directly, it would probably be echoed by nearly everybody here at this protest as at least one of the animating principles for why they wanted to be here. You're referencing that your sign is from a previous protest, so you're no stranger to activism. I think if you go just based on national media, which didn't do, in my opinion, enough reporting about Operation Metro Surge in the month of December as it was ramping up, like getting everything that led up to the shooting and killing of Renee Nicole Good, can you just walk people through what has it been like here in the Twin Cities over the last months, years, wherever you feel this story begins, up through today? What has led us here today?
So I'm as also autistic, and so I pretty much just get out to go to work and mostly go home right now, especially through the winters. And for me, it's been frightening even taking the bus, because I have family members that are saying, hey, they're harassing kids at the bus stops, why are we going after children? Why are we going after American citizens and, not giving proper vetting, not coming at people with an actual judicial warrant? If this is all legal, go through the process. And the way that mainstream media has been handling it, sadly, I don't feel has been good enough. It's been really both sides, and we're at a time where while the Democratic Party, while the progressive side may have its problems, we do care about the constitutional and fundamental rights of human beings, and we want to see the best for our neighbors.
Let's talk about that progressive side, specifically the leaders. Do you feel like Democratic leadership, as the opposition party in this country, is meeting the moment? Are they doing enough right now?
That's complicated because we do not hold the House, we do not hold the Senate, we do not hold the presidency or the Supreme Court. So we have all these avenues stacked against us. Right now, this is what we feel like we can do. And it's disheartening to know that the legal systems that we've trusted throughout the years are failing us in this moment. I am remaining hopeful that we will see justice, not just in this case, but in all cases where ICE has been involved in abducting people without proper due process, without due vetting. and harming people just for expressing their First Amendment rights.
Let's talk about justice. What does justice look like for the Twin Cities right now? You can't begin to make a community whole after somebody has been killed, but you can at least take some steps to try and enact justice. To you, what needs to be done?
The biggest thing that needs to be done to start is the federal government needs to give the state and local municipalities access to the evidence so that it can be properly tried. My mom was a paralegal. I do understand roughly how the legal system should work. You know, I am not gonna jump to conclusions, but by what I saw, he is culpable for her murder. But we need the legal system to actually make the evidence available to be processed properly by independent investigation.
My last prepared question that I have for you before I let you go, I want to ask about, just to have you characterize this protest, because I think what we're going to see from either the Trump administration directly or certainly from the right-wing media machine that surrounds it is going to be a characterization of the demonstrations that we have seen out here in Minneapolis as somehow riotous or dangerous or destructive. For folks at home, as somebody who marched in this demonstration, characterize what was it like? Just characterize what was it like for people?
Absolutely. So I mean, everybody is angry, everybody is hurt. This is a big problem in our community and we are adamant that ICE needs to be removed from our cities because this was foreseeable. An incident like this was foreseeable. The people have been peacefully protesting, as is their constitutional right. We are not breaking anything. We are not, ruining any buildings or anything. You know, we are expressing our opinion that this shooting was unjust. And that's it.
As simple as that. Like this, I say as simple as that, and yet it's a loaded thing. Like just the fact, like trying to get an administration to admit while it's investigating itself to find out if it was justified in killing somebody. You get my point. Sorry, I get myself so worked up in the moment, but yeah. Tammy, thank you very much for being with us. Is there anything else you would want to add while you had the platform?
I just want to say that I've lived in 6 different states throughout this country. I have met people from all different walks of life. Immigrants make our country great. Our native populations make our country great. They make it more vibrant and really give us a depth of personality to learn from. So I just want us to find peace with our neighbors. As the previous gentleman said, love wins. Love always wins, you know.
I appreciate the time.
Thank you so much.
Let you get back to it. All right, I want to spend just a moment here to reflect on the significance of this moment. Tens of thousands of people felt the need to get into the streets today. Tens of thousands of people felt the need to take to the streets in the wake of one of their fellow community members being gunned down, being killed by the Trump administration, by an ICE agent, shot. A mother of 3, her car crashing down the block. A child who will grow up an orphan because of what the Trump administration has done here. And the way this community has responded and rallied has been to build a movement that is snowballing so clearly that has been evident from our on-the-ground perspective here. From bringing you this on-the-ground perspective, we have seen protest after protest grow in its size, strength, intensity, never growing riotous, but instead focusing on delivering a message that they do not want ICE agents in their communities. They do not want this suffering to continue either here in the Twin Cities area or anywhere across the country. And I can say this with so much authority because we have talked to so many of the people here on the ground and lifted up their voices. I want to ask you a question. Where else are you seeing this kind of journalism being done right now? Long form, on the ground, shoe leather reporting, not afraid to get ourselves tear gassed, not afraid to go all day in the cold here in Minneapolis. It's independent media. It's Status Quo, it's MeidasTouch, working together, lifting up these voices and bringing them to you. What I ask in return is that you help sustain us here, help sustain our on-the-ground efforts. It is expensive work. It is expensive work because we need to afford places to stay. We need to be able to afford food to eat. We need to be able to afford to fix camera equipment like when our sound equipment goes out in order to continue to be able to provide a platform to lift up these voices. So if you can, go to statusquo.com/join. For as low as $5 a month, you go to sustain. That's 16 cents a day. You go to sustain the work that we are doing here and help continue to build this platform of movement-centered journalism, on-the-ground reporting, which is so vanishingly rare. So many different outlets that should be doing this same work alongside us, but instead are just parachuting in for a day. It takes the Trump administration killing somebody before many outlets chose to arrive and report on what was happening here in the Twin Cities. We had been here already for weeks on the ground. We had been here for weeks on the ground already, documenting on what was happening, on the escalating tensions. If you believe that work is important, statusquo.com/join. It helps keep us truly editorially independent, not beholden to any corporate advertisers, so you know that what I'm saying is truly what I feel because I'm only beholden to you, our audience. Short of that, any super chats you can give, it all adds up. We're greatly appreciative of that. And then short of that, liking and sharing this stream and getting subscribed so you know when we go live. Again, we'll be documenting, after we're done here, we're going to go out and document ICE's abuses that it's committing in these communities. Right now, as I'm talking, ICE agents are out patrolling these neighborhoods all around us. All these people, their homes. ICE agents are rolling through, either deploying tear gas, grabbing their neighbors, disappearing them into an opaque immigration system. We'll be continuing to document that. We might very well be going live again today, depending on how protests develop elsewhere in the city, or what ICE agents do if we're at an active scene. Sometimes these live opportunities come up very short, on very short notice. So get subscribed so you're notified as soon as we do go live. And short of that, we also produce packaged reporting as well, where we go out and we interview folks and we put it together and we publish those reports on our YouTube channel or on Instagram. So get subscribed so you see those as well. I'm going to draw things to a close here because the cold is affecting not only our camera equipment but our physical bodies as well since we stopped marching. So I'm going to draw things to a close here. So on behalf of myself, on behalf of John Farina behind the camera, on behalf of Colin, Michelle, Ty, and Jordan, our whole team here at Status Quo, on behalf of MeidasTouch, who has been an amazing partner in helping lift up our journalism, and on behalf of the team of independent journalists who are on the ground here, not least of all Andrew Mercado, who has graciously played host to us in showing us this city, I want to say thank you. Thank you for seeing what it is actually like on the ground here, for following our reporting and not just falling prey to propaganda pumped out by this administration, which it is doing by the bucketful right now. Thank you for being with us. I'm JT Siskowski for Status Quo in Minneapolis. Thank you, and we'll see you later.